What if everything you know, every city, every language, every nation, every invention began with a few frightened humans struggling to survive? In the next 10 minutes, you'll witness over 300,000 years of human history unfold before your eyes. From stone tools to skyscrapers, from cave fires to artificial intelligence, from tiny tribes to a world of 8 billion people. This is the incredible story of human civilization told through breathtaking visuals in just 10 minutes. Welcome to World in 10 Minutes Visual History. If you love history told like you've never seen before, subscribe and let's travel through time. Chapter 1. Before Civilization. 300,000 years ago. Before there were kings. Before there were cities. Before history even had a name. There was only survival. Imagine waking up every morning, not knowing whether you would live until sunset. No houses, no roads, no medicine, only endless wilderness stretching beyond the horizon. Early humans hunted massive Ice Age beasts with nothing more than sharpened stones and courage. Every storm could kill. Every predator was stronger. Every winter threatened extinction. Yet somehow, against impossible odds, one fragile species refused to disappear. Instead, it learned, it adapted, it remembered, and then it discovered something that changed the destiny of Earth forever. A single glowing flame. That tiny spark would eventually lead to empires, spacecraft, artificial intelligence, and the modern world you know today. But none of it existed yet. This is where humanity begins. Chapter 2. The Agricultural Revolution. The moment humans changed the world forever. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans followed food. Then one day, everything changed. Imagine discovering that the seeds you dropped months ago had begun to grow. It seemed almost like magic. Instead of chasing herds across endless wilderness, humanity made the land itself produce food. Villages rose where forests once stood. Families stayed together. Children no longer grew up on the move. For the first time in history, people could dream about tomorrow instead of merely surviving today. More food meant more people. More people meant new ideas. But abundance came with a price. Land became valuable. Wealth could be owned. Power could be controlled. And the first conflicts over territory quietly began. Without realizing it, farmers had planted far more than crops. They had planted the foundations of civilization itself. But abundance came with a price. Chapter 3. The First Civilizations. When humanity built the first cities, for thousands of years, humanity had learned to farm. But something even greater was about to happen. Along the banks of mighty rivers, small villages began to grow into places the world had never seen before. Cities, thousands of strangers living together, trading, building, dreaming. The rivers gave them fertile land. The harvest fed growing populations. And for the first time, people no longer lived only for survival. They built temples that reached toward the heavens. They carved laws into stone. They invented writing so ideas could outlive the people who created them. Kings rose. Priests claimed the favor of the gods. Merchants carried wealth across distant lands. Humanity had discovered organization. But where there is wealth, there is ambition, and where there is ambition, there is conflict. The age of civilization had begun. The first cities gave humanity knowledge, wealth, and power. But power has a dangerous habit. It always seeks more. And soon, kingdoms would become empires. Chapter 4: The Rise of Great Empires. When kingdoms reached for the world, a village can become a city. A city can become a kingdom. But what happens when one ruler dreams of owning the entire world? Across deserts, mountains, and oceans, powerful empires began to rise. Egypt raised monuments that defied time. Persia connected continents with roads and royal messengers. Greece changed the way people thought through philosophy, democracy, and science. Rome transformed military discipline into an empire stretching across 3 continents. In the East, the Han Dynasty forged one of history's greatest civilizations, while India's great kingdoms reshaped religion, mathematics, and culture. Trade routes carried silk, spices, gold, and ideas farther than ever before. Humanity had never been more connected. Yet every empire believed its glory would last forever. None of them imagined that the same ambition which built them would one day bring them to ruin. Empires conquered the world with armies, but they could never conquer time. Because history has one rule that no empire can escape. The greater they become, the harder they fall. And from those ashes, a new world would begin to rise. Chapter 5: The Middle Ages. When one world fell, another rose. When the Roman Empire fell, many believed civilization had fallen with it. Great roads crumbled, cities emptied, ancient knowledge faded into silence. But history never truly stops. While castles rose across Europe, a different golden age was unfolding far beyond its borders. In Baghdad, scholars preserved and expanded the wisdom of the ancient world. In China, inventors transformed everyday life with paper money, printing, gunpowder, and the magnetic compass. Across the vast Eurasian steppes, the Mongols united lands that had never been connected before, opening routes where merchants, travelers, and ideas flowed across continents. Yet prosperity came with an invisible enemy. A deadly plague spread along the very trade routes that had enriched civilizations. Kingdoms trembled. Millions perished. But even after unimaginable loss, humanity found a way to begin again. The Middle Ages were never just an age of darkness. They were an age of transformation, because from plague came change. From forgotten knowledge came discovery. And soon, humanity would dare to sail beyond the edge of the known world. Chapter 6: The Age of Exploration and Revolution. When humanity discovered a bigger world. For thousands of years, most people believed the world ended at the horizon. Then, a handful of explorers dared to sail beyond it. Wooden ships crossed vast oceans once thought impossible to navigate. Unknown continents appeared on maps. Civilizations that had never met suddenly collided. Trade exploded across the globe. Along with silk, silver, and spices came ideas, technologies, and diseases that reshaped entire populations. Soon, another revolution began. Steam engines replaced muscle. Factories replaced workshops. Railways stitched continents together. Electricity turned night into day. For the first time in history, machines could outwork humans. Cities grew faster than ever before. Fortunes were made. Empires expanded. The modern world was taking shape. But beneath all this progress, rival nations were becoming more powerful, more ambitious, and more dangerous than ever. Humanity had conquered the oceans. It had mastered machines. It believed progress would never end. But the very inventions that transformed civilization would soon be turned into weapons, and the world was about to witness its deadliest century. Chapter 7: The Age of Global Conflict. When progress became the most powerful weapon, humanity had entered a new century. A century filled with impossible dreams. Airplanes conquered the skies. Telephones connected distant voices. Electricity illuminated cities that never seemed to sleep. It felt as if the future had finally arrived. But beneath the excitement, old rivalries were growing more dangerous. Nations raced to build larger armies, more powerful ships, deadlier machines. Then, in 1914, a single assassination ignited a conflict that engulfed much of the world. Before the wounds could heal, an even greater war followed. Cities burned. Millions of soldiers and civilians lost their lives. Humanity witnessed unimaginable destruction and extraordinary courage. When the fighting finally ended, the world was no longer the same. Civilization had entered the atomic age, carrying both its greatest scientific achievement and its greatest responsibility. The wars had ended, but history was entering a new battlefield. This time, it would not be fought only with armies. It would be fought with ideas, technology, and information. The next revolution would not reshape a single nation. It would connect the entire planet. Chapter 8: The Digital Civilization. The next chapter is still being written. For the first time in history, humanity was no longer separated by oceans. A message that once took months to travel could now cross the planet in seconds. We reached beyond Earth's atmosphere, walked on the moon, sent machines to Mars, built a digital network that connected billions of minds. A child with a smartphone now holds more information than the greatest libraries of the ancient world. Artificial intelligence is beginning to change how we learn, create, and solve problems. Yet every breakthrough brings new questions. Climate change, cybersecurity, space exploration, the future of intelligence itself. Our ancestors mastered fire. We have mastered information. But the greatest challenge has never been technology. It is how wisely we choose to use it. Because the next chapter of civilization has not been discovered. It is being written by us. From a single spark in the darkness to cities that touch the clouds. From stone tools to artificial intelligence. The story of civilization has never been about the tools we build. It has always been about the choices we make. Every generation inherited the world from those before it. Now, it is our turn. The next chapter of human civilization has no ending yet. Because, for the first time in history, you are living inside it.